Yes, so in the previous session, we were talking about your communication with the TCWG. So in a communication, first we discussed about who is TCWG and all. TCWG are those people who are responsible for strategic direction and overall governance of the organization. That's fine. Then we discussed like why that effective two-way communication is necessary. Effective two-way communication. Okay, first of all, what do you mean by effective? Effective means something achieves your objective, what you are looking for. Okay, you wanted to complete your audit, express a true and fair opinion, and they want to run their business properly. Okay, so we both should, that communication should help both. Now, two-way means I told you, both are involved now. It should benefit not only one person, both the people. Communication means sharing of the ideas. Okay, so now, how it is going to help? They say that effective two-way communication helps in understanding the matters related to the audit and in developing constructive working relationship. See, what is constructive? Constructive means you develop something, a positive. Opposite is destructive. See, you need to have a very constructive development where you share the ideas, they will develop, they share the ideas, you will develop. Okay, we call it constructive criticism. Because here the criticism is not done with the object to make somebody down. When you are criticizing constructively, you really want someone to improve. That's called constructive criticism. Now, constructive working relationship, it is going to help. So, effective two-way communication, when you constantly talk to each other, okay, have an understanding of each other's idea, you know each other, so your working relationship will help. But you have to keep in mind independence and objectivity, because it should not happen that you become too familiar, too sympathetic to the TCWGs and you start listening to them. No, you have to maintain your independence and objectivity, but it will help you to understand about the audit. It helps the auditor in obtaining information relevant to audit. See, now, ultimately, when the auditor goes there, he is going for auditing. Who is the owner of the information? The TCWGs. The auditor can audit only what has been told to him. Okay. Now, when you maintain a very good relationship, yes, they trust you and give every information. TCWG may help in understanding the entity and its environment, appropriate sources of the audit evidence, and help to understand specific transactions and events, because they trust you. And how it is going to help TCWG in fulfilling their overall overseeing responsibility, thereby reducing the risk of misstatement in the financial statement. Okay, I told you about AWA Australasia. Okay, I can say something like this, friends. Maybe in your school days, you must have seen there was a teacher. This is you. This is your parent. I can say this is your management. Your parents are responsible for the strategic direction. They are the one who are overseeing your education, academics, and all. And you see how they used to talk to your teachers, because they wanted to know what my child is doing, and teacher is wanted to inform, they wanted to get that information, what child is doing at home, which subject is getting difficult. This is called the effective two-way communication. You remember this example. So this is going to help the teacher also, this is going to help the parents also. What is the objective of essay 260? We discussed the objective is to clearly communicate the responsibilities of the auditor and overview, not complete plan, of the planned scope and timing of the audit. So you need to tell well in advance only, like how you have planned to do, because they need to make appropriate arrangements. Okay, they will have their own tight schedules. They should make arrangement for your visit and stay and all those things. That's why somewhere you have to give a planned scope and timing for the audit. Like even parents also expect teachers to tell well in advance, okay, everything, like if the function is there, like what they wanted to do. Otherwise they will always tell, okay, teacher is not telling anything. Okay, somewhere you have to communicate the responsibility plus planned scope and timing, obtain the information relevant to the audit, provide timely observations arising from audit. Okay, we can call it as a findings. Observations are nothing but findings that are significant and relevant to their responsibility. Like for example, teacher sees that student is not coming to the class. You have to go and inform. Teacher sees that student has got they have become very mischievous. Okay, they are not listening. Yes, they have to inform. They have to provide this timely observation. and finally to promote effective two-way communication. So there are 4 objectives of SA 260. Important. See, every objective is important, student. Please study it. Now, what is the requirement? Determining appropriate persons to whom to communicate, auditor shall determine who is your TCWG. That's why we discussed it previously only. Better you get in writing whom you need to communicate. Now, the first requirement, what all the matters you need to communicate. At the intermediate level, this has been discussed in a very detailed way. So, you have to inform primarily 4 things. We have already done that mind map today morning. First thing, auditor's responsibility has to be communicated because this is one of the objectives. Then you have to communicate planned scope and timing of the audit, like what you are going to cover and what is the timing. Third, significant findings from the audit, the objective number 3. And auditor's independence. Okay, this is one extra for your listed entities. Now let us see what is that matters we are going to communicate in the auditor's responsibility. First, the auditor's responsibility in relation to audit. Now, yeah, generally everybody has that. Even like we also have got a understanding that when auditor is there, you will do everything. No, you have to tell that what is the responsibility of an auditor. Auditor shall communicate that responsibility of an auditor is to form an opinion and express an opinion on the financial statements that is prepared by the management. See, we are not going to prepare and we are not going to express opinion. And when the management is preparing, the oversight responsibility has to be taken by TCWG. They should not have any impression that, okay, auditors have come, now they are going to see the what work management has done, so we are relieved. No. Ultimately, you are responsible for the oversight on the management. Our responsibility is to express opinion. Everybody know, but we have to make it clear in writing. Second, the audit of financial statement is not going to relieve of their responsibility. So this is the matter which you need to communicate. Often you have to include it in the engagement letter, and this is what you document. So law and regulation may require TCWG to agree to the terms of engagement. When this is not the case, you can provide one copy. Okay, leave it. So you need to focus only what you need to communicate. 2 things. One, your responsibility to express opinion, and it is not going to relieve the management. Next, planned scope and timing of the audit. Once you know whose responsibility is what, now somewhere at the beginning of the period, you have to give your planned scope and timing of the audit. Now, how this is going to help TCWG? Yes, they can understand better the consequences of the audit work. Are they going to rely on the internal auditors? Okay, do they need the experts, or do we need to hire management experts? So many things you will come to know, and again, they can identify areas, discuss the issues of risk and concept of materiality also, because see, ultimately, when we talk about the materiality, in Inter also you have learned there are 2 concepts of materiality. One is called the overall materiality, another is called the assertion performance materiality. Now, overall materiality, when you tell that the financial statements do not have material misstatement, see, this is this materiality which is spoken in account or Ind AS. Please understand, when we talk about materiality, the overall materiality is discussed at the accounting level, not at the audit level. There is no definition of overall materiality only. Why? Because when the financial statements are prepared, the board of directors or the TCWG has to consider that materiality. Now, performance materiality is something the auditor considers for his checking, his testing. I hope this concept is clear to you. Maybe we can discuss it again later. So now, which materiality we have to discuss here in planned scope and timing? We have to discuss about the overall materiality. Never ever tell your performance materiality, because this is auditor's secret. You are not supposed to tell below which value you are not going to verify. They can manipulate. Why this is important? Because you need to get that understanding. Auditor has to get that understanding. What is their understanding of materiality? Who are their users? And identify any areas they may request auditor to undertake additional procedure. AWS Australasia case, that derivative. Okay, it was a very gray area. None of the people understood it. Like for example, one of the organization may be involved in Bitcoin. The organization may not understand that, don't know what is happening there. So they may tell, okay, Baba, please go and check that particular area, because you are a professional, you will understand it. Now, how it is going to help auditor now by telling this? So you can understand entity and the environment better. So if you have got any difference of understanding, the board of the TCWG are going to complete it. Now, this includes communicating of the significant risk. So other things we can proceed further. While communication, TCWG may assist to plan the scope and timing, but it is not going to change the responsibility to establish the overall strategy and plan. So SA 300 says auditor has to plan, and this becomes the overall plan. When you say SA 300, there are two sub concepts called audit strategy, audit plan. They say that even though you might have discussed with this TCWG, you might have communicated them, it is not going to remove your sole responsibility. You only is responsible. Care is to be taken not to compromise the effectiveness. What is this effectiveness mean? That means in the process of telling your scope and timing, you tell everything. Now what is going to happen? Your audit becomes too predictable now. Now exactly know how many samples you are going to take, when you are going to come, who is going to come, everything they know. So they will keep everything ready so that you will not find out anything. That's why when you should be very careful when you discuss the scope and timing, you have to maintain the effectiveness of the audit. Plus, in maintaining relationship, you should not become too familiar, too sympathetic. Okay, fine. This is also, I don't think so, very important from the examination point of view. Anyhow, even though it comes also, you can write, yes, significant findings. I told you, this is there in the inter also, in final also. So anywhere they can ask you the question. Now, auditor shall communicate with the TCWG auditor's view about significant qualitative aspects of the entity's accounting practices, including policies, estimates, and financial statement disclosure. Now, what all these qualitative aspects included? Okay. Now, for this again, we have to go to the standard. There are a list of qualitative aspects. Anyhow, since they have not told you, we need not bother. But primarily, what does qualitative aspect? See, what is significant findings? You have come to the workplace. You started to understand the entity, environment, you know the industry. Now, are their accounting policies suit them? Like for example, they have selected FIFO method. But in an industry, everybody is using weighted average method. So now you bring to the knowledge of the TCWG, sir, please change yourself from FIFO to weighted average, because for the investors, comparison, industry-wise comparison becomes easy. Now in revenue recognition, you can have a milestone based recognition, cost to cost recognition, estimated recognition. See, you have to communicate what is the most appropriate accounting policy which suits you. Now, what are the additional disclosures that may be required? These are all called qualitative aspects, not quantitative, because you are not telling from the amount point of view. You are telling from the quality point of view, like which method should be used for accounting estimates. So when applicable, auditor shall explain to TCWG why he considers significant accounting practices under applicable reporting framework not to be most appropriate for, like you have to tell, like your financial reporting framework, like for example, Ind AS or Companies Act, must have told 3-4. So whatever they are following, it is as per the framework only. But why this is not suitable right now in this circumstance? Now, there is an inflationary situation, but you are following your cost or NRV, whichever is low. Now, you have to follow for hyperinflationary accounting. Like this is what you tell in the qualitative aspects of accounting practices. Then, significant difficulties, if any, encountered during the audit. Like you never thought about certain things, which they have told already. Okay, we will see that as we proceed further. Now, difficulty means hardship. That means you never expected something. You thought it would have been like this. Okay. Now, you see, our class started. Okay, we had an understanding. Every day it will flow smoothly. You see some difficulties we come across, some commitments will be there. These are all you have to communicate. Are you not communicating? Yeah, you see, you are messaging me, sir, this is the thing, I'll not be. This is communication. You are communicating to someone like the difficulties what you are facing. Fantastic. This is what we should do. And unless all the TCWs are involved in the managing the entity, you have to communicate significant matters that were discussed subject to correspondence with the management. See what happens, friends. TCWGs are not available there in the board, in your, what is that called, in the company. This is your company, this is your client. You went there. With whom you interact every day, every time? With the CEO, or CFO, or the finance controller. These are all people called the management. So you might have discussed, okay, you must have said, given in written form. And when this TCWGs are going to come when they have got the board of directors meeting. Then they will come. So, in the meantime, if you feel that we have discussed some very significant matters, which we will see, which are those significant matters, and you think that, okay, these people may not tell board of directors. So, you have to go and tell if there are significant matters. Like, for example, teacher says that, like, 1 week I will not be there. Now, you have told to the kid, but see, this is a very important thing. Otherwise, the parents have to come for a very long period. They have to stay here. And after they come here, they realize that you are not there. Now, what you do, since it is a significant matter, which you have corresponded or discussed with the management, since you are going to bring this to the notice of the parents, teacher is going to bring to the notice of the teacher. And this is not required. Then the management and TCWG are one and the same. See, this is when happens, say, probably maybe in your case. In your case, no, you decide your strategic directions, you make the choices. Why? Because the parents' involvement becomes less. But when we are small, every decisions about education, our parents only did. This is what they say. Unless your TCWGs are in the managing, in that case not required, because your communication to one of the directors has become communicated to all the directors. You can make such assumptions. Then you have to obtain written representations what you are requesting, because you have to get so many representations. Now, when you will get a representation, see, only when you don't have any other evidence. Like that's why if we go through the standards, see, we start with SA 240, fraud, we take written representation. Then we come across non-compliance with the law. See, we don't have any other evidence. Huh? Like, did somebody file a complaint against you? Was there any fraud? Do I have that third eye here to find out? Or do I get dreams? That's why if you see 501 litigations, there we take the written representation. Going concern, we take the 540, your assumptions for estimates, 570, going concern. Okay, subsequent transactions. See, these are all the places we take written representation. So first only you tell management, look sir, this is the written representations we need from you at the end of the year. Don't tell that we will not going to give in writing. Now, circumstances that may affect the form and content of the auditor's report. Generally what happens, student? What is the expected form? You have got an idea. This has been discussed at the time of when you have discussed at the time of engagement letter only. Yeah, because it's the very first thing. Because your audit report is the finished goods. Like what should be the structure of the house? Do you have one story house, two-story house? These things decided at the beginning only. When the construction is done, then you come across one requirement, no, then it's going to create a problem. So, when the form of audit report is going to change, format, okay, suddenly you realize that no, I'm not supposed to give the audit report, but I'm supposed to give the review report. See, this is the change in the format only. Complete format is going to change. Or your central government has come with the rule that don't apply say 700, but take this particular format. You have to immediately talk to the board of directors, TCWG. Or when you are planning to change the content, that means you don't want to give clean opinion, you want to give modified opinion, emphasis of matter, key audit matter, then without discussing, if you give any such report, no, it becomes professional conductions. Please remember, later we have to discuss this. And any other significant matters arising from the audit, which in your judgment is necessary for their oversight process. So this is the overall 5 items which you need to communicate under significant findings. Yeah, everything is, see, at the beginning you didn't know. After you going there, you understood the accounting practices. After going there, you understood the difficulties. After you went there, you understood the significant matters. Written representation also, you told these things you give. Some circumstances may change. Okay, when you identify, you go and discuss. So, now let us see textual knowledge 9 question. The first question. UVW associates are the statutory auditors of a listed company. Now, Uddhav is the engagement partner. Now, what is his understanding? As per the requirement of one of the essay, which they didn't tell, he has the responsibility to communicate following matters to TCWG. Okay, now instantly you know what essay they are talking. They are talking about 260. Now, discuss this matter in detail. Which matter should not be included? Have they told as per relevant essay? No. But in this question, students, I suggest you, please write the standard name. Maybe one of the essay they expect you to write. Please understand. They may not tell you straightforward. So when they said requirement of one of the XA, you have to discuss in detail. So there will be an expectation of ICA to tell the name. Now what is that? Auditor's responsibility, planned scope, auditor's independence. Now which matter is not included? Beautiful question. Huh? Now what you didn't forgot? Significant findings. But they didn't ask you only that. Just to tell you will get 1 mark. Now what is that you need to do? Discuss such matter in detail. Now you need to tell significant qualitative aspect, difficulties, written representation, circumstances, etc. Are you clear, students? Yes. So the next question, next thing, the communication may include requesting information. Okay, whatever, leave it. Now we discussed 5 elements. Out of that, one of the element was a significant difficulty. Difficulty means hardship. They may ask you in the examination, give me some examples of difficulty. In that cases, you need not quote everything here. So what is that? You need not tell everything. You have to tell specifically. See, this mark it important. They have given in this box. What are the examples or matters of significant difficulty? Like significant delay by the management in providing information or unwillingness to provide the information. Okay, you are requesting, okay, please give the information, but the management is delaying or they are not giving. That is the difficulty. No? You have to communicate. Unreasonable time limit to complete the audit. They can complete it by tomorrow. See, this is the strategy what they do. They first of all don't give the information and last moment they give. Okay, I'll tell you one of the fantastic strategy. You see, students, how it works. In the rail, okay, railway, how to cheat. Now, TC comes. Followed? There will be some group of friends. One of the person will be sitting in the first. Now, what happens now? TC will, and these people will be moving here and there. Now, TC will catch the first person and ask, where is your ticket? And this person will pretend as if he doesn't have a ticket. He will try to search and all. Now, TC, okay, says, okay, he has caught one culprit now. Now, entire attention is diverted here. Okay, and last moment he gives. He doesn't have a time to check others now because next station has come. See, this is what they do. They don't give the information at the beginning. Last moment they give, so that you are very near your deadline. You will not be able to check it. You will finish just like that. So this is called unreasonable time limit through significant delay. Extensive unexpected effort. That means initially you thought, okay, it is simple. There are internal controls, but suddenly after going there, you understood there is no internal control. Volume of transactions are huge. Unavailability of the information. See, first of all, this is unwillingness. Information is there. They are not providing. Here, information is not there only. Both are two different elements. Restrictions imposed by the management. Management is saying, don't go here, don't go there. Or unwillingness of the management to continue assess its ability to continue as a going concern. So whenever you identify the elements of going concern, your first thing is you request as per SA 570, so please do the assessment. Management is not doing it. This is called a significant delay. I hope it's clear. Next, in some circumstances, such difficulties can constitute scope limitation. You may have to modify the opinion or you may have to withdraw from the engagement. Then second question they may ask you, like we discussed that some of the significant matters you must have corresponded with the management, and unless all the people of the DCWG are into management, you have to communicate to them. Now what is that significant matters? One, significant events or transactions occur during the year. Like for example, one highly successful competitor came. Now, is it a significant event? Yes. Why? Impairment. You may have to perform impairment testing. Or Ind AS became applicable. This is one of the significant impact event. Or they got one contract, 5,000 crore contract from L&T. This becomes a significant transaction. Now, business condition affecting entity, business plan and strategies that may affect the risk of material misstatement. Like, okay, like Corona came, business conditions started to down. Okay, so the sales started to reduce. Okay, these are all the things which is going to affect the entity, their business plan, their strategies. And ultimately, it may affect the risk of misstatement. So this is what you need to communicate as part of the significant matter. Concerns about the management consultation with the other accountants on accounting and auditing matters. Now, what management will do? No, your accounting, Are Baba, you consult with us. No, and you are consulting somebody who may not be qualified, who may not understand, you connect your theory with the business. Okay, so you argue, you have a discussion with the management, but the man, see, this also must have happened, friends. You must have seen, like, if a client comes to you, you must have seen that they already do the R&D in the Google, and then they talk to you. Now in Google, what you have got half information. In ChatGPT, what you have got? You have got one predicted information. And with this half information or predicted information, without understanding the context, no, they started to argue with you. See, this is your concern about the management's consultation with the other accountants. Now, discussion of correspondence in regard to the initial or recurring appointment of the auditor regarding accounting policies, application of accounting standards or fees or audit services. Okay, so any correspondence in relation to your appointment, the recurring appointment, see, management can threaten that if you give me qualified opinion, I'm not going to hire you next time. So your fees you have to reduce. This type of discussions which you must have done with the management, you have to communicate, because it's considered a significant matter. And those disagreement with the management. So if you have any disagreement with the management, except for the difference of opinion because of incomplete fact or preliminary information which can be resolved, you have to discuss. So any disagreement, significant disagreement, will be considered a significant matter. Okay, please mark this important, because this you have to write and practice what they have told. Now, what are the circumstances in which auditor may have to change his form on the content of the report? The fourth one. So where you may have to modify. Going concern related things may come, key audit matter may come, emphasis of matter, other matter paragraph, or your annual report versus your financial statement may be too different. SA 720. So uncorrected material misstatements in the other information. These are all the 5 reasons in which you may have to communicate with the TCWG about the change in the form and content. I hope you are clear. With the mind map also you should be very clear. Try to remember the keywords. If any of the points you are not clear, please ask me, students. Make me to work. I am very happy to work actually. I want to get your perspective. If you are not clear, you need to tell me, so that I can come back and tell you maybe in the next class. Because I feel very happy. See, just for your information, students, I always tell, are very lovely students. One student in my initial days of teaching, okay, initially I was teaching inter audit also. Now, that student called me and told, sir, it is a very simple question, sir. I told her, please ask me, no problem. He told her, what is the difference between analytical procedure, substantive analytical procedure? Then I thought it is a simple question and I wanted to tell something. Then I suddenly realized that I don't know the answer. Very beautiful question, very beautiful, very simple, very deep question. What is the difference between an analytical procedure and substantive? Is there no difference? Yes, there is a difference. But I could not tell him immediately. Yeah, but I went back, I did my research. Next class I told him, look, this is how it different. I really thanked him. This incident I told so many times in my class previously, because that simple small question gave me a fantastic understanding about 2 conceptions. Anyhow, we will discuss these concepts. We proceed further in chapter number 4. I should also ask you the same question. What is the difference between 2? Very nice question. Okay, like this. Any questions coming to you, please ask me. The 4th thing, what needs to be communicated is the auditor's independence in case of listed entity. Now, what in case of listed entity, auditor shall communicate to the TCWG? He has to give a written statement to the auditor that engagement team and other firms as appropriate, engagement team and others in the firm, means other team members, the firm and the network firms have complied with the ethical requirement, including your independence. Okay, in SQC1, in SA 220, we have already seen that ethical requirement compliance is very, very much necessary. At firm level, CEO will take responsibility. At engagement level, audit team, engagement partner will take responsibility. They have to constantly look for threats for independence. Okay, they have to identify the safeguards. If they cannot do it, they have to escalate and they have to document all these things. So these are all the independence related things. So they have to give in writing, yes, we are still independent and we have complied with the ethical requirement. And second, they have to give one statement of all the relationships and other matters between the firm, network firms, and entity that in the auditor's professional judgment may reasonably thought to bear on independence. So this sentence you have to write and practice. Very important. I think they must have seen it has not come for examination. It is sitting in your test your knowledge 2 question. You have to write this. What is that they are trying to tell? All the relationship and other matters between the firm, this is my firm, and the network firm, and the entity that the auditor's professional judgment may thought to bear on independence. What exactly they mean to say here? We will discuss. This shall include, this statement or relationship includes total fees charged during the period covered by the financial statements for audit, non-audit services provided by the firm and network firms to entity and its component controlled by the entity. This fees shall be allocated to the categories that are appropriate to assist TCWG in assessing effect of services on the independence of the auditor. And then the related safeguards that has been applied to eliminate the identified threat or to reduce to them an acceptable. To explain you this para, I have to take back you in 1990s. Students, there is one statement when the Enron product, there was one statement. See, primarily what type of services any firm will give? Firm will give 4 types of services. So we can broadly classify into assurance services and non-assurance services. What is assurance services? You give opinion there, you give assurance to someone. Non-assurance services, you just do work like an employee, a freelancer, like one contractor. You don't give any independent opinion there. So in 1990s, or for that matter here also in India, the fees from the assurance service was 80%. And non-assurance service was very less at that time initially, because majority of the auditors were involved in the assurance work types of work only. So then 1991 came, 1992 came, 1993 came, then came year 2000, and when somebody figured out a pattern, they found out that auditors are getting only 20% of the revenue from assurance engagement, and 80% of the revenue is coming from non-assurance engagement. That's why we have got corporate practice. Please understand, practice in corporate form. In chapter number 19, we are going to study this. What we can do, we can separate 2 firms, audit firm and a private company we can form. And what we are doing here we are giving only assurance services, here we are giving management consultancy services. And today also, if you look, students, they are newly practicing chartered accountant. Do you think any client is going to come for assurance service to them? No, they will come with different type of problems, different types of compliance related things and other things. See, any practicing CS, non-assurance fees will be more today. This is one of the survey's results which was shown, which I wanted to tell you. So what is the insight we have to get from this? For this, I have to take back you to this Enron fraud, which happened that in the year 2002. Now, Enron was involved into fraudulent financial statement, that you knew. Now, they wanted auditors to give clean opinion. Yeah, because the moment you give qualified opinion, so many irritations are going to happen, so many problems are going to come. Now, what you can do with the auditors now? Now, can you give an envelope, and in this envelope, can you put some money and hand over? No, auditors won't accept it. So, how to make auditors to listen? They found out one other idea. Start giving non-assurance services to our auditors. Fantastic. Please understand here what happened. You start giving non-assurance services. Now, what is the difference between assurance and non-assurance services? In assurance services, your appointment is done by the company in AGM. Like for example, audit. Your appointment is done by the AGM. For how many years you have been appointed? 5 years. Can you be removed? Answer is yes. But you have to take central government permission. Now, non-assurance work, how you are appointed? Board of directors are appointed. For how long? Is your understanding. Can you be removed? Yes. How? Overnight. Now, what this Enron did, they started to give more and more and more and more of non-assurance services, which was within their hand only. So at one point of time, there was high self-interest threat to students. Okay, I will give you an example to you. Now, you have got a situation where your audit fees is 1 crore. Your non-audit fees is 3 crores. Now, board of directors will tell you, okay, see, there is one issue. By default, you are supposed to give qualified opinion. Plus, please don't give. They request you. But behind that request, you can very easily sense that there is one order also. Don't give. They will tell, please don't. Please consider. But behind it, there is a very clear-cut order. The order is, or the threat is, look, Baba, if you give. You are independent, right? You give. Next day, I will cut this. Now, you tell me. Can you tell, sir, I will leave audit, you give me that? No. This non-assurance service is given to you only because you are our auditors of the company. If you resign from audit, we will throw you anyhow. See, now you got into cash. That's why today, okay, in professional ethics also we are going to study that the audit fees should be more than your non-audit fees. Imagine if it's a ulta case, 3 crore is to 1 crore. Now, if they tell you, please sign, you say get lost. Why? They may take this, but they cannot take this, no. And they have to go for a central government then. Ethical Standard Board is going to come into picture. You can tell next auditor has to ask you why they removed it. And you will tell all the story there. Means you will not tell them directly, but you have got a right to representation. So many. See, the system is designed like that. That's why when we are talking about independence here, when you say all relationship, here you are telling all types of assignments, which is audit plus non-audit. Now you understand it. They say that total fees charged during the year covered by the financial statement for audit and non-audit services provided by the firm and network firm. See, that's why who is the network firm? Also you need to understand. See, if this is an audit firm, there are 2 partners. And one of the partner is a partner in another audit firm. This is called an associate. This is called an associate because there is a common partner between 2 partnership firms. Now, who is the network partners? Okay, in chapter 9 or 19, again we are going to cover, there is something called the network guidelines. Network guidelines means there are other audit firms here, in Mangalore or in Bangalore. Now, all of them form, it's more like a Lions Club, I can say. You share a common brand, you share some resources, and you work like one network. You refer the work to yourself there. Okay, if Bangalore work is there, you refer to them. If Mangalore, they will refer to you. So this type of network you will follow. So you don't have any common partners in those firms. So when you have got a common partner, you are called an associate. These people have joined with you only for some commercial considerations. Followed, no? So what can happen? See, this is you and your network firm. And here, this is the entity and they have got subsidiary, they have got sub-subsidiary. See, what I can do, students? How Enron can bribe auditors? They will not give you directly. But this one of the sub-subsidiary will give you one of the network firms. And network firms will transfer that money to you. This can be possible. That's why when you are talking that, look, Baba, we are independent. My audit fees plus my associates audit fees plus my all network firms audit fees plus non-audit fees, which received from you and your components. That breakup I have to give. Now, That's why they say that it should be allocated to the categories also. Like you should tell this has come for tax audit purpose, this has come for stock audit purpose, this has come for treasury audit, this is for our maintenance of the information system, whatever. Now, when the audit committee or the TCWGs go through those list of payments, now they clearly understand that board of directors have not bribed you through this type of arrangement, and you have to communicate the related safeguards to eliminate the identified threats or to reduce it in low level. I hope you are very clear, student. Perfect. Let us see test your knowledge. 2 questions. Shelly Goyal offered the appointment as an auditor of Root Limited, which is a listed company. So since it is a listed company, now independence requirement comes into picture. You have to communicate that. Now the audit committee of the company wants her to justify the independence in relation to the company through proper communication. Can they say? Absolutely yes. Who told? SA 260, requirement number 4. Although she has ensured that there are no threats to independence. Does she have a responsibility to do that? Yes. Who told? SA 220. Okay, requirement number 3, that she has to comply with the ethical standards. Yeah, requirement number, I think, yeah, requirement number 2, sorry. First is leadership, second is ethical, third is your client acceptance. Now, she feels the requirement of the audit committee is beyond its purview. What is your opinion in this regard? No, she is wrong. It's not beyond his purview, because what they are asking is very much correct. So now you are going to quote here, as per SA 260, in case of listed entity, you have to give this statement, all the relationship, fees allocation, safeguards, etc. Now, as per the Companies Act, audit requires audit committee to review and monitor the auditor's independence. Therefore, committee is correct to justify their independence, and it is within their purview. Yeah, it's a very easy question, students. Didn't mark it, but if you feel that it is important, you can mark it. The priority 1. Done. That's it. We are done with this chapter. Hardly 2 questions are there in this chapter. Now, communication process. How you should communicate? Yes, always auditor shall communicate in writing all the significant findings. Okay, how many findings are there? 6 findings are there. Which all those findings? Qualitative aspects, significant difficulties, significant matters, written representation, form and content, changes in the form and content, other matters. Now, written communication, and if in the auditor's judgment, oral communication is not sufficient, and always the independence requirement so must have to be communicated in writing, and when on a timely basis. In simple terms, communication process means you have to communicate on a timely basis in writing. Which one? All significant findings and independence. Now, how do you ensure adequacy of the communication process? Auditor shall evaluate the effective two-way communication, whether it is adequate or not. So, if he has not, then auditor shall evaluate the effect of auditor's assessment of ROMM and shall take appropriate action. So, you have to check whether there is an effective communication, and somewhere you find that the TCWGs are avoiding you, okay, they don't want to talk to you. In such cases, you can actually get disconnected, you can resign from this engagement. That's what they say, take appropriate action. So, we will move on, student. So, whatever you discussed orally, you may have to document and retain it. That's it. This is all about your essay 260. I hope it's clear.